But like a disaster movie, I'm in quarantine. Falling a grave if I don't stay by myself. But there's room for gatherings of two, 6 feet apart, under the stars. I totally fucked that up.
Yeah, a little bit. It's okay. I think
it's okay. Good effort.
Keep it in.
You know. Well, that's your COVID karaoke right now. But for this episode of the Mosh Pit, episode 4, are you ready for more? Michelle here with my lovely co-hosts. Yes, that is plural, because I've got Kelly. And Brianne has recovered from the corona, or whatever the fuck it was that she had. How are you feeling, Brianne?
I just would like to point out that I do not have corona. I had, like, super bad allergies leading into, like, the first week of everyone freaking out about corona, so everyone was, like, joking that I had it. Then I lost my voice, and then everyone was like, oh, you really have it. And I'm like, that's not a symptom. It's been good. I've had this nasty cough that's hung on for dear life ever since, so every once in a while you're gonna hear me kind of cough into my arm. But I feel fine otherwise. It's just annoying more than anything. And I have my voice back, so yay.
I'm still glad that, we're in different states, because if we were recording together, that would be a cause for concern. But we're glad to have you back. We had tons of fun without you, but we missed you.
Missed you guys, too.
So much fun. Did you listen to our episode, Brie?
Not yet. I have been meaning to. It's been on my Spotify list, but there's been so much going on, like, because I've been working from home, that I find myself doing a lot more, which is weird. So I haven't had time to actually listen to any podcasts. Like, I think yesterday I listened to, like, 6 hours worth of podcasts. I'm still a week behind.
Yeah, wow. Look at you. So productive.
I know, I'm trying. I'm trying to stay productive.
There you go. Well, we have an absolutely sublime show for you guys today. After we blather on about music things and music news, we have a real treat in store, but that's not until later. So on with the show. And as much as we want to escape it, it is everywhere. And I mean, we were literally just talking about it 3 seconds ago. It's absolutely permeated the music scene. So we're going to start the show with music in the time of Corona. And let me start with a quote from Love in the Time of Cholera. You get where we're going here? He allowed himself to be swayed by his conviction that human beings are not born once and for all on the day their mothers give birth to them, but that life obliges them over and over again to give birth to themselves. And now, this has absolutely nothing to do with coronavirus, but I'm gonna make it work. So, we're all quarantined here. We're all quarantined. And, we've got time on our hands that we didn't really have before, despite a lot of us working from home and whatever. And, life obliges them to give birth to themselves over and over again. So this is a time to, as much as, we want to consume all the content that's out there, we want to, listen to all the music, create for yourselves. Do things for yourselves. Even, develop a hobby, do whatever you've been putting off for 3 months. This is the time for you to self-care. Right, guys? Yeah?
I would like to point out that we started this podcast at the perfect time because we learned how to record this from afar before quarantining was cool.
Exactly.
So, like, all of the podcasts I listen to, they're all like, our audio is shitty, we're trying to figure it out, and we're like, nah, we got this.
We got this.
Nailed it.
Pioneers.
But yeah, and it's not just everybody out there, but all the artists out there are definitely scrambling to kind of stay relevant now that they're not able to perform for us and things. But I think a lot of them are taking this time for, developing their music and kind of pushing their own boundaries. But, it is definitely, all this corona stuff is definitely changing the music scene as we know it.
Yeah, so the biggest thing that I've noticed when it comes to, like, music in the time of corona is the fact that people, or artists, albums are either changing dates, staying the same. So I have two of them aren't in our music genre per se, but it's still like applicable. So Dua Lipa was supposed to release her album on April 3rd. She actually pushed it up to March 27th, talking about how she wanted to get content out there, and people are in need of some kind of distraction or happiness. So she's trying to focus on that. And complete opposite, Lady Gaga was supposed to release her album on April 10th, and she has pushed it back, saying this is a time to focus on our healthcare workers and, this time of tragedy and how we all need to band together and not worry about frivolous things like music. So it's completely opposite ends of the spectrum when it comes to outlook on things. And then our men, All Time Low, have decided to keep their album release on time because they are on the same track of like people need to, a distraction and happiness brought into their lives, and they hope that they can help do that. So it's just crazy to see every different artist taking a different idea of how Corona is impacting their music and whatnot.
Totally. Though we will see on All Time Low, because we did issue a challenge to our listeners last week to make them release it early. And I know we're only 6 days out. They've released a third of the album, but we still have time for the rest of the album to come out early.
I was going to say, if you just want to keep leaking one song every couple days, I'm chill with that. You don't have to do a mass drop like Beyonce. It's cool.
Yeah, I'd be cool, because that's kind of spreading it out, because I've lost track of time right now. So, it's something new every day to keep me, sane would be great.
What day of the week is it, guys? I'm not even gonna lie, I know it's the weekend, but I'm not sure what day it is.
It is Sunday, because you know what? Sundays are for the Moshpit.
True. Very true.
Hashtag. But, aside from album releases, and there has been tons of new music coming out, so we'll see how that continues to impact things, because we know New Found Glory has a new album coming out, and there's tons more that are coming out, but as we've seen for the last few weeks, concerts are being canceled and postponed. Thankfully, so far, none of mine have been canceled, because I hadn't actually gotten a ticket for anything in the near future. Just Sad Summerfest is, I think, my next thing, but we will see if that even stays on. It might end up getting postponed or something, because it is early summer, so if everybody does stay indoors and like we should be, we can hopefully be out by the summer, and Sad Summerfest will go on without a hitch.
Well, it's also just to interject, Sad Summer is also happening in a lot of major cities, which is where a lot of the coronavirus is hitting hardest. So it's even worse, because if they don't buckle down, New York is freaking decimated, and the New York show is located legit on the river, really close to downtown Manhattan. So it's
yeah, no, that show will not happen. They're calling it the new Wuhan, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, no, it's definitely impacting a lot, and, the more that people ignore, the warnings, the longer this is gonna pan out, and the longer we're all gonna not be able to do the things we enjoy, because, I know we all would have died if this had happened to us, at, our prime concert-going days, back in high school and college. Concerts are my self-care, and I go to probably at minimum once a month, and it keeps me sane. And so we'll see how I'm doing a month from now. But, it's, I didn't realize that the last concert I went to was going to be the last one for a while. And, thankfully it was a good one.
Yeah.
Pride and Disaster, which we talked about on episode 3. If you guys want to check that out, we're on Spotify and Google Podcasts now. So, just plugging ourselves in our podcast. A little meta for you guys there.
I'd also like to say, I'm very lucky because of living in Jacksonville, Florida. There is not a lot of shows, especially not a lot of, punk rock, pop punk shows. So, last show I went to of our genre was All Time Low last April, I think.
Wow.
I'm very deprived down here. So, for me, I'm just nah. They weren't, the next show I'm going to...
would you call that lucky, though?
I'm lucky now, because now I don't, feel deprived, because I'm just, used to it. But the next show that I have is going to be over the summer in August, I think. I forget the name of the tour. It's the one with Green Day, Weezer, and Fall Out Boy.
Oh, Mega something.
Tour. The Hella Mega Tour.
Oh yeah, something like that.
So I've got tickets to that. But that's also in like the Jaguars Stadium. So if anything's gonna get canceled, if it's still going on like that late into the summer, please God no. They would cancel that one because it's a huge show and there's gonna be thousands of people there.
Yeah, they would definitely do that. Yeah, that's it's rough. It's definitely it's a huge impact, and I mean, it not only affects the fans, it obviously affects the bands. As we will discuss, as we've been discussing, there's just so much is changing in the way that bands are connecting with us.
Yeah. One of the things I've seen a lot are live streams or live concerts or just like acoustic sets that people are doing.
I've seen a ton of those.
Yeah, so many over mostly like Instagram video or YouTube or Facebook Live. So there's like a lot of different platforms that support it for them, which is really good. But I've seen so much of that. And I feel like I'm surprised it didn't take off kind of more before all of this Corona stuff started happening. I feel like it's like the modern like concert. It's like we get to sit in our bed and listen to a concert.
But that's the thing though, is that if you actually think about it, most of artists' revenue come from touring.
Right.
So like album sales like get the money, but like their big money maker is tour. So the fact that they can't tour, a lot of artists are hurting. So they're trying to keep their fans enticed with these little free ones, being like, when everything's over, come to my actual show. It's gonna be great.
Yeah, and I think they also have the time right now, to do all these live streams. It's kind of like how the film industry is just, releasing to theater, straight to DVD.
Yeah.
That's what's happening in the music scene. straight to
DVD. Yeah. So something I've seen a couple times, not like widespread, but I've seen a couple people have a sign up in the back of their live stream with their Venmo tag. Or like some people will do like a charity or something like that. But it's like when I saw that, I was like, this is like the modern day Corona version of busking. And when I said that, Brie and Michelle were like, what is busking?
Yeah, I have zero idea what that was.
I don't know why I know that word. I'm not really sure why I know it, but it just means street performing. So when musicians perform on the street with like their guitar case open, for tips and stuff like that. So this just really seems like the modern day busking, and they're just kind of performing for their fans and doing it in a social distancing way. But I feel like that's a really good idea. I feel like it's a great idea for artists to have some sort of, way that their fans can contribute to them if they're able, along with buying their merch and stuff like that.
So I'm going to go off on a tangent super quick, but it's kind of ties in. So a girl in one of the Facebook groups I'm in was like, hey, I was laid off because I'm a bartender. If you guys want to tell me what's in your liquor cabinet in your Corona quarantine, I'll give you recipes, and here's my Venmo just for tips. And I mean, it's crazy that people are doing what they can in this situation because like so many people are getting laid off of work and whatnot. So it's very similar to this whole thing.
100%. Yeah, I mean, you gotta hustle because the relief is coming a little later than anticipated, and it's definitely not going to be enough for a lot of people. So, I mean, for the last thing I saw was like 3.3 million people claimed unemployment last month, and I mean, I don't know the numbers for last week. That's what I meant. That's what I meant. Yeah. Oh. And I don't know the numbers in general, but I feel like that's a little high.
It's 4 times the highest one ever. Like,
oh, there you go.
I listen to a lot of political podcasts. It's fine.
Brianne with the stats.
So yeah, it's an insanely high.
They gotta hustle. I mean, and like we said, if it's important to you, support your bands in any way you can. And I mean, watch their live streams. And I mean, it is like we said, it's the modern day. It's like the new concerts. So you pay to go to a concert, pay for their live stream, right? Yeah, and I mean. We all are working from home, so we don't have the spare time that other people do. Thankfully, we all still have our jobs, but you do get a little stir crazy. I definitely have been getting cabin fever. music has definitely been helping me through it, and Animal Crossing, and so I don't have to listen to the music from Animal Crossing because that shit will drive you insane. I put on like a nice put on Pop Punk's Not Dead playlist, or all this new music that we've been getting. I've been listening to a lot of that too, and I actually incorporated my my love of music into my Animal Crossing. If you follow us at Moshpit Pod on Twitter, you'll see that I retweeted somebody who used designs to create album covers to put on their wall in their house in Animal Crossing. So I did the same. And I'll post a picture of my wall. It looks really cool. I've got some All Time Low. I've got some My Chemical Romance. I've got Broadside, Neck Deep, State Champs. It's the Broadside, I think I said already. Yeah, I did. Yeah. So, well, I'm really excited about Broadside. And you'll see why. Ha ha ha.
Teaser.
What about you guys? Is music helping you through the quarantine?
Yeah, I mean, for me, I edit video all day, so listening to the same, like, especially I edit video for news, so listening to the same, like, dun 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 kind of music over and over and over again, trying to get the edits right. The second I'm off the clock, or the second that I'm, on my lunch break, I blast a playlist, whatever I can get. I've been listening to, obviously, a lot of the new All Time Low stuff, but I've been, not driving him nuts, but thank God for my boyfriend. He has been very understanding of me. Just all of a sudden he'll just hear it from downstairs blasting random music while he's in the guest bedroom working, and he's just like, I'm on a sales call, can you turn it down? I'm like,
no.
I guess. I'm like, yeah, we need to pay our bills, so that's fair. I'll turn it down. But yeah, no, it's been helping a lot. It's a nice distraction, and like you said, the new content is really what's getting me through.
For sure.
Yeah, same here. I mean, me and my boyfriend are both working in like a very small space, both kind of like in our living room working. So it kind of feels like we're just like in our cubes at work. And I still have to use my headphones because he'll normally be on a call at the same time I'm on a call. So in that aspect, like nothing feels like it changed because I just put on my headphones at work and like jam out to music all day long anyway. So that part has kind of stayed the same, but having new music to listen to does, I feel like, get me through the day sometimes. It's really exciting to have something that, even like the day before, or like when a new song is coming out, it like gives you something to be excited about. I also, like, obviously I was talking about live streams a second ago. I have been watching a lot of those, and I feel like it gives me something to do on my phone other than like look at Corona news, which is like great to have something else to do.
For sure. I definitely look at so much Corona news.
Yeah, and I try not to because it gets me freaked out. But yeah, I've been the other thing I did was I finally ordered All Time Low's wine, which like that was like a big push for me. I've wanted it for so long, and the shipping was just like outrageously expensive, so I kept putting it off. But I now have 2 beautiful bottles sitting in my wine rack ready for me probably this week.
I'm still debating on if I should buy some.
I still have mine from the first shipment, so I have not touched them yet.
Oh, I know we should do a tasting or something and do a wine review.
I have to order it. Okay. I like the fact that you're giving me an excuse to order it and spend stupid amount of money on shipping.
You're welcome.
Yeah, next episode we're gonna do a wine tasting on air.
We'll see if I can get it in time. Hopefully I can. But
fine, maybe the episode after.
We'll see. I'll order it today, so that way we'll hopefully get here before our next episode.
Hey, you could pay the extra $10 in rush shipping.
Yeah, because I'm going to spend just as much on shipping more than I pay for a normal bottle of wine.
Exactly.
No.
Well, I hope all of you are staying safe out there, social distancing as fuck, and letting music flow through you, and relief. I don't know what I'm saying, but
clearly safe. Michelle is going crazy.
Obviously.
I mean, Michelle wasn't completely sane before all this started.
Fair, yeah.
That's fair. Okay, yeah, I'll take that. But Whatever, it's true. I'm not gonna deny it. But that's all we've got on music in the time of Corona. I was gonna say cholera, like the actual book, but I'm like, we don't have cholera. That would not be great. But okay, I know, Bree, you don't like news jingles, but it's time for music news.
Well, it's not that I don't like them, it's just that I listen to them so often. So often. They just kind of kill my soul when I hear them on the weekend. But I'll let it slide.
Alright, so for music news today, Kelly's gonna start us off.
Oh, I'm going to start us off. Okay. So also, I mean, like, everything is like still kind of related to Corona stuff. But anyway, Spotify is adding an option for artist platforms, on the artist platforms, I guess, where their listeners can actually donate to them or a charity of their choice, and Spotify will match the donation. So I think that's an awesome thing that they're doing. And so Spotify, I think, will match up to 10 million to listeners, that are donating to like music related or like music relief charities, so like Music Cares and those type of charities and foundations. So I think that's awesome.
That's awesome. That's really fantastic. Just another way to help in this time where everybody's struggling. But dope. But on a finally not Corona related note. Finally, or maybe it is a little Corona related because we haven't heard from them in a while. So, this was the time for him to finally be like, oh, I'm doing it. So, Broadside has signed to Sharptone Records and released a new song called Foolish Believer. First of all,
Woo!
I don't think I've actually ever heard of Sharptone Records.
I don't think I had either. Nope.
Yeah. But, I'm excited though that they're on. I don't know. They were signed before. I don't know if they're on what they were on before, but I'm glad they're on a new record and moving forward with music. Ollie Baxter, the singer and frontman, said, he's there's a quote here about the song. He said, "When I was 11 years old, I would sit on the edge of my bed and look at the cheap Walmart mirror hanging on the back of my bedroom door and pity the reflection. I realized at a young age I hated being alone, even though I was incredibly good at it. Now as an adult, I find myself chasing a dream that feels unattainable in hopes that I don't have to see what I once did. I pay my own rent, I can afford a better mirror, but the reflection still feels the same. I just want to be remembered. That's the moral of the song." And, I think you hear that in a lot of Broadside's music. It's, he's chasing this dream and people don't believe in him and he wants better for himself. But honestly, I mean, yeah, they're not a huge band, but I think they've acquired a relatively good level of success. I mean, I hear Broadside more and more in my pop punk groups and everything. Like, I people like them, and I this new song, I mean, Ollie Baxter has a very distinctive voice, so it felt very Broadside, and but I really loved it. It felt a lot like their first album versus the last one, Paradise. Was that the name of the last album? God, I'm the worst with album names.
I don't remember.
Yeah, no, the first one was Old Bones, and then it was before that. That's the one that had Coffee Talk and all of those awesome songs. But yeah, no, it's definitely a great song, and you can, in his voice, like what he's talking about and like chasing these dreams, you can hear the desperation almost in his voice of trying to chase that dream and catch it. And it's I'm a big fan of Broadside, and I'm looking forward to more new music.
So speaking of new music, transition. All Time Low has released, we were talking about before how they've been releasing new songs off the album, trying to get everyone ready for a new album release. So Trouble is the most recent release of of All Time Low's new songs. I personally love it. I mean, it's not Sleepin' In level, but it's a solid song. Alex, the lead singer of All Time Low, said this about the song.
Duh.
Shut up. We talk about them enough. I'm allowed to say duh. If you don't listen to our podcast and realize the fact that we're just all obsessed with all-time low, then clearly you need to go back and listen to all of our old episodes.
Actually, do it, because we need the listens. Listen one more time.
So Alex on the song says, I also really like the subject matter, which is about these people who exit your atmosphere and then come back in, and it kind of rattles your entire world. You realize that you never dealt with those feelings when they disappeared. It's a cool topic and a cool bit of music for it to live in. I'm just a huge fan. I really like this song. I played it for my boyfriend, and he listens more to like rap and stuff, but he did like it. He had a very interesting comment about the Melancholy Kaleidoscope opening, so I'm gonna wait till we get to that part because it's quite funny. But yeah, I really liked it. What do you guys think of the new one?
I was a fan. It's definitely not one of my top. Actually, no, it's probably like 3, maybe. You know what it was for me. It's not even that I could necessarily relate to it right now. What I like about music a lot of the time is that it, even if it doesn't hit me right now as hard because I can't relate to it in regards to what's going on in my life, past Michelle can relate to it, so it still hits me just as hard.
Because it reminds you of like a previous time.
It reminds me of a time where it would have hit me just as hard, and so I get like into that mindset, and then I'm like, oh, my heart, ha. So you know what? Like I mean, like I've said it before, all time low. They get you right in the feels, no matter what.
Every time they do. I think I like Trouble Is. I like Melancholy Kaleidoscope a little bit better. Me and Bree do not agree on this point. Oh, I guess Michelle doesn't agree either.
I don't either.
I like it.
It's not bad. It's just every other song has been a banger, and this one's just kind of like, that's all right.
I think
I might hit next, but I'm not gonna turn up the volume, if that makes sense.
I think like 2 things I think made me like this song more. The first one is the bridge. Like I was like listening to the whole song and I was like, like kind of bopping my head and whatever. And then the bridge came along and I was like, fuck yeah, I love this. I don't know. It just like hit me real hard. I love the bridge, and then that means I love the song. So that was the first thing that hit me. And then reading a little bit more about like how this song came about and like what it was really about for them kind of really like, I don't know, that also kind of hit me because we're kind of going through this really weird time, and like you want to sing happy songs and whatever and like try to get through stuff, but sometimes you just like don't want to sing a happy song. And that's kind of what Alex was kind of talking about. So he said he was kind of talking about like the dichotomy of the song, how like it's kind of high energy and things like that, but the lyrics are a little bit darker. And he said it was written at a time where I was going through seasonal depression, which he hasn't experienced before. He came into the studio and really like didn't want to write anything. And their producer was playing this idea of a fast song, and it struck him, this isn't where I am mentally right now. So this whole song kind of plays at that, and like it's really energetic and upbeat and things like that, but that's not how he was like feeling when he recorded the song. And I think that whole message of like trying to pull yourself through a bad mood with music, I think I like a lot about it.
Yeah, I can totally feel that. I mean, honestly, that's what I was going to say about Melancholy Kaleidoscope. Because it's true. Like, I mean, a lot of the times I listen to music because I'm feeling sad, or maybe I want to feel sad because for whatever reason, feelings I can't describe. And
we're going through some shit.
Exactly. And but it is a cool contrast between the two moods of the lyrically and musically. But yeah, I mean, it was still, I think, as much as it's like quote unquote fast paced, I didn't really feel like it was like a fast song. It was very more ballady, like a therapy type, and we all know I'm not a fan of therapy, but No, I mean, I'm a fan of getting therapy, not the song therapy. Everybody, if they feel they need
Very
therapy, should
distinction.
go get it. But anybody can benefit from therapy. But I don't know, Melancholy Kaleidoscope just didn't, I didn't connect with it. Maybe because I'm in a great point in my life, so couldn't relate. But, like Kelly said, this is kind of maybe relevant for the times we're living in right now. We're trying to pull ourselves through and be happy, but we're just not feeling happy because shit sucks.
Yeah. I will say, like, I've only listened to it, I think, 2 times, and, I mean, like I said, it's not bad, but it's not, like, my favorite. So this funny story, this morning when my boyfriend was making us breakfast, I was, like, giving another listen through to the new All Time Low songs, and I had this one playing first, and he goes, "Are you watching anime?" Because he thought the opening riff of Melancholy Kaleidoscope sounds like an anime theme song. And I was just like, nope, I am not. So that's my funny little story about Melancholy Kaleidoscope that also kind of was like, do I like this song? I don't know. Like, so, but yeah.
Well, regardless, I'm still excited about the new music, and, we probably have some more new music to look forward to as we approach April 3rd, the release date of Wake Up Sunshine. And, Alex has talked a lot about all these songs because he did a track-by-track guide to Wake Up Sunshine on Kerrang! And, we've had a lot of songs come out, but he's talked about all the songs on the track list, and I've got a couple that I'm really excited to hear. One of which is the title song, Wake Up Sunshine. Alex talked about how it came from a really personal place, and he felt like he was kind of waking up from a dream in context of the last album, and then that was kind of based on what All Time Low had done before, and Wake Up Sunshine addresses that they're awake again and the sun's up and they're starting anew, and that's what the song for them is speaking to. And it's also a message of things can and will be okay. He said that in this day and age, a lot of people are finding their validation in who shares their opinion online and screaming into an echo chamber. Their song is speaking to that and almost saying you're fine without that. And I love that, and I love that, kind of that's the title song and the whole kind of, I guess, cohesive message to the album. But, I've talked about how bands have journeys and, they develop and everything, and I'm thankful that I've been able to watch All Time Low grow from the beginning, and seeing them kind of evolve from the real pop punk boys that they were before to kind of a little bit more developed artists, and then finding their pop punk sound again as developed artists. I'm really looking forward to hearing Wake Up Sunshine because I think that's going to really, really be an absolute fucking banger. And another song, related to, their previous sound that I'm looking forward to is Clumsy. Because he said that if you put it on Nothing Personal, which was their sophomore album, he says it still could have fit, and, it feels like it transcends where it falls chronologically, and it's part of the bigger story of the band, and it goes back to just literally what I was saying about the story of the band and everything. So I'm really looking forward to that one. Plus, I loved Nothing Personal, and I loved the sound on that album. So it's really that's a real All Time Low for me. So I'm stoked for it.
I'm a little annoyed because that is also on my. We were all like, "Oh, we're gonna pick 2 songs to talk about it," and then I look at Michelle's right after. I'm like, "Of course she's going first, and she gets to talk about Clumsy because that was one of mine." Because Nothing Personal is probably like not my favorite album, but it like that's kind of where my brain goes when I think of like true All Time Low. Like, because I don't think there was a song on there that I hated. I mean, I don't really think there is a song that I hate, just dislike, but. It's very much like I graduated high school the year Nothing Personal came out, and that was the year Michelle and I met, and it just was a really big like point in my life that I associate with All Time Low's music. So the fact that they're comparing it to that album, I was just like, yes. So I'm super pumped about that. And then the other song that I'm super pumped about is Monsters featuring Black Bear, mainly because I've started listening to Black Bear like alternatively, like not in connection to this album, and I'm very interested to see how this is going to play out, because I don't think All Time Low's done a like a rap artist collaboration, right? No?
I don't believe so.
Mm-mm.
I didn't even know who Black Bear was until you just said it.
Very good. He's a good rapper. He's really good. I can't think of the name of the song that I like right now of him. I'll figure it out later. But yeah, it's just very different. Basically what they were saying is that they knew they had written something special, and then the songwriter who wrote the song was like, "Oh, I'm also working with Black Bear. Like, I think we should send it to him to see what he thinks." So they sent it, and he was basically like, Black Bear was like, "This is the kind of headspace I'm in the moment anyway, so I already feel like I could write something for this," and they said it really elevated the song and took it to a new, refreshing place that we had never properly explored before. Oh yeah, they said that, literally the next sentence, "We never really collaborated with someone in rap or hip hop, and it brought a lot of energy to the song." I'm very excited about that one.
That is exciting because it's definitely a growing kind of genre
situation,
collaboration mix. This emo rap and pop punk rap, so it's gonna be cool. And
Black Bear is also like a very new artist, and he's like on the rise. So I think that they're gonna help each other get that song heard on mainstream radio, maybe. So we'll see.
So I would like to say Clumsy and Monsters are my two also, but I picked two different ones. But about Black Bear, his name is Matt Musto, and he used to do, when I was in, I want to say early high school, Matt Musto did pop music.
Really?
Interesting.
Yes. Look it up. Yeah, look it up. I'm pretty sure he wrote Boyfriend with Justin Bieber. And don't quote me, but I'm pretty sure I remember that. And then he also put out a couple pop-ish songs. So when I had seen a picture of Black Bear, and I was like, oh my God, I feel like I remember listening to him in high school, but I never listened to rap in high school. So yeah, that was really interesting.
He was in Woe Is Me?
Oh, didn't know that.
No, just kidding. He put out a song with a member of Woe Is Me. I read that wrong.
Oh.
I'm literally just looking on Wikipedia, so this is probably all wrong. Yep, he co-wrote Justin Bieber's Boyfriend, apparently.
Wow, what do you know?
So that's that.
This guy is great. I like him so much more now.
So yeah, that's what I knew. So that I'm really excited about Monsters also to hear that. But the other two songs that I'm excited about for Wake Up Sunshine are January Gloom and Summer Days, because they're kind of like a part one and part two type song, which I just think that concept is pretty cool. And I'm interested to see if they sound have the same sound, but different message, or they just sound completely different. So yeah, I think that's a cool concept, and I'm looking forward to hearing those two.
And I mean, I think just by the titles, January Gloom, Summer Days, it kind of plays into what Alex was talking about in Melancholy Kaleidoscope with his seasonal depression.
Yeah, the contrast. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's definitely going to be a very interesting album, not only musically, but I think narratively, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Brianne.
Sorry, I was looking up more stuff about Black Bear. I got really into this conversation.
Sorry.
We're not a rap podcast. We are a pop punk podcast.
I'm sorry. Okay, back to the pop punk. Technically, this is all music. The part we're going to next. So I know we've just gotten past this, guys, but we're back to a little bit about Corona. Basically, because of the fact that Corona is got everyone trapped in here, we're talking about all this crazy content's being created, depending on, artists and fans working together, there's a bunch of people, or bands, I should say, that are making music videos based on your content. So if you guys want to be in a music video, here's your chance. Just like Michelle, who was in a Cash music video. Hashtag goals.
Yeah, it was. You can see
she's
the bar scene.
She's easily the coolest of all of us, except for the 2-hour-long phone call we had when I was trying to tell her which cardigan to wear that would look the coolest.
And it ended up just being the back of your head, and the back of your head is ridiculous.
Yeah, it is.
Anywho.
That hair is just undeniable. You can't think it's anyone else.
So, two different bands are taking two different kind of twists on this concept of having crowdsourced music videos. So, Neck Deep is getting videos from fans holding up lyrics. So, they're doing a lyric video instead of an actual, like, music video. So, fans are told to submit their videos of them, 10 to 20 second videos of them holding up different parts of the song lyrically, and they were like, be very creative, but at the same time keep your background like blank or whatever, like a solid color versus like crazy background stuff. So if you guys want to hear about or see that and try to submit your stuff, we'll post stuff on our Instagram about it, so that way you guys can submit your stuff too, and hopefully we'll get in there. Maybe we'll do one too, who knows. And then Blink is taking a different twist on it. Their song Happy Days, I didn't mention the song for Nick Deep, it was When You Know, sorry. But Blink, for Happy Days, they're doing crowdsourcing as well, except instead of holding up lyric videos, they're having people doing ridiculous stuff, whether it's, cooking, dancing, doing TikTok videos, like that kind of stuff, and then you can upload them, and then they're going to make a music video based on that for Happy Days, which I actually do like that song, so that's good. But yeah, so if you guys want to if you guys are bored, because, we're all stuck inside, it's a great way to entertain yourself for a couple hours,
Definitely, and interact with your favorite bands. That's what it's all about, right? Come and besties with them.
The dream.
Just be my friend.
Exactly.
The dream. All right, our last piece of music news for you, I believe. And this one, really almost freaked me out real bad, but State Champs guitarist Tony Diaz is leaving the band, and State Champs will continue on, they said, as a four-piece, and they'll get maybe a touring guitarist to go on tour with them. But they posted this announcement on their social media the other day, and when I saw just text on this Instagram post, I had a slight heart attack and thought they were breaking up.
I did too. It was very misleading, because especially the way they started the post, or what the caption was.
Yeah, good things must come to an end.
Yeah, I was like, what?
Oh my God, it can't end. Yeah.
But then I kept reading it. My panic attack stopped.
I know. Yeah, so it seems like they're in, there's no hard feelings or anything. He's just moving on to another chapter in his life, and, the rest of the guys in State Champs support that. So yeah, I'm very excited that State Champs will continue on.
But sad that Tony Diaz is leaving.
Yes. And his hair is pretty iconic also.
It is. It's pretty awesome. Well, that's all we've got time now for you for music news. So now we've got a surprise for you.
That's spooky.
Yeah. We are interviewing a band for you guys today. We're welcoming College Radio onto the Moshpit. College Radio hails from the gloomy Emerald City of Seattle, Washington, a four-piece mixing traditional pop punk with a Seattle alternative twist. With a recent EP out in late 2018, College Radio have been writing and playing across the Pacific Northwest. Loud guitars, big drums, and catchy hooks, and a Northwest vibe. With the most excellent live show that keeps you on your feet, College Radio is a band you do not want to sleep on. So welcome, College Radio. Welcome, guys. We're happy to have you on the Mosh Pit.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, no problem. We're happy to have you. I mean, I kind of feel like it's really serendipitous that we found each other, because our podcast actually began many, many years ago as a college radio show, and your band is College Radio. So, to start off with, where does the band name come from?
Well, the band name came from it's kind of like one of those weird, originally I wanted to call the band Growing Pains when I first was conjuring up this transition of going from playing heavy music to kind of back to the passion that I had when I was growing up. And I just didn't think that Growing Pains fit the style of music that's coming out when the writing process first started. When this is, I'm talking like before everyone was super involved, when it was just kind of like making its baby steps or like just born. I'm a big fan of a group called Go Radio. With Jason Lancaster from Mayday Parade, and
Oh yeah,
one
yeah,
of
yeah.
Oh, cool.
those weird like I always see radio. I love Alkaline Trio, and they have a really killer song called Radio. And one day I'm sitting here and I'm like, college radio. Holy shit,
That was it.
that rocks. College radio, it works. I looked. The only thing I could find online was some DJ kid from like 2008, which if you do go to like iTunes or you'll see, he hasn't touched anything.
We
I
lost
think
him.
it was pretty much here we grew above that, and so you now see us. But that's kind of I would say the a shortened or a long version of the name College Radio and where it came from.
Cool, I dig it. Um, so so I mean, so you said this was like college radio kind of started before everybody was really involved. So how long have you guys all been playing together, and how did you all come together?
So the band itself, I would say honestly, I think the band came together when Taylor joined, and that was last year around January. But oh no, it was I would say October, right? Of
I
2019.
think, yeah, like around the end of 2018.
2018. I forget what day it is, what time it is, because we're all stuck inside.
We're living in the time of Corona. Time doesn't exist. It's a social construct anyway.
It's a flat circle.
But we were a three-piece before, and we were just trying to get our feet off the ground. I had wrote the two main songs, Love and Take Me Home. And I kind of was like, hey, I'm starting this group. It's called College Radio. And I had a friend hit me up, and we got Cody, the drummer, who also brought in a friend of his, Dylan, who played bass. And it was fun for that like small period, but it was just like we had so much that we wanted to do that. I mean, honestly, a band is a group, not a single person. And I know Taylor from a bunch of bands that we've played with together. When I was in some of my other bands, his other bands would play with us. But he was a bass player, and I didn't know he was a guitar player, and asked him to come on and jam with us, and we just instantly started writing more. Taylor has a beautiful voice, has a great ear for just music, so it really helped us push up. And recently, we ended up having to switch bass players, and we played on Halloween a show with Evan and his band called Midnight Movie, which is another killer Washington band. So check them out. Another band to think about here.
Nice little plug there.
I drunkenly asked him to wanted to come jam with us, and it pretty much was all history after that. So I want to say the band, we were doing good, but once we like started jamming with Evan, we literally, it was like day and night. Like the shows, we instantly started playing bigger shows. It was really weird. Not weird, but fun. Is when we started jamming, boom, we got like some of the better shows and the bigger shows. And honestly, ever since I would say December, we've got to play. Obviously, not too much, but we got to play some really cool shows with this new lineup, which I think is the lineup that we have right now. So I would say,
Nice.
we've been around, but I would say this year was supposed to be our year, but we're doing it.
Hey, it still can be. Things are changing. The music scene's changing. Everybody's going digital. But yeah, no, that's awesome. I mean, as much as fans need to connect with a band, I think the band connecting with each other is super important. And until you find that right little mix of puzzle pieces of humans, it's not gonna take off. And yeah, it's cool that you guys found each other. And you mentioned you guys are from Washington. In your intro I said you guys are from Seattle, and you guys say that you have your pop punk with a Northwest vibe. So what exactly do you mean? Like pine trees, Starbucks coffee? What is
That's exactly it.
Oh,
Yeah,
Yes.
you nailed it. Next question. You got it.
All right,
All
perfect.
kind of vibe on that one.
All right, cool. So, we listened to some of your guys' music. Shine On's your newest release. Um, and honestly, I got a little bit of Newfound Glory vibes from it. But who are some of your guys' influences?
Green Day, as Gordon said, Alkaline Trio. Um, I don't know. Evan's got a weird taste in indie bands or something like that. I don't know.
For this, it's mostly the Bouncing Souls and NoFX.
Nice.
Mhm.
I try to compartmentalize as best I can.
I like the Newfound Glory. It's more like the just 2000s or just that old school drive-through records.
Yeah.
Like, throwback where it was just not quite oversaturated, where it was okay to not sound the best, but if you could sound the best, that was sick.
Yeah.
That was
Still
kind of a
wanting to
side
talk about
effect.
stuff and whatnot, but the Newfound Glory. It's funny that people are saying that now. Is when I was a kid and I would sing, I would get made fun of about that a lot. Like I used to sing in a screamo band back in the day, and we could never figure out who I sounded like. And then that was once that kind of was pushed out, it was there. I tried to. You can hear in some of the older, the first renditions of some of the college radio stuff. I try to sing lower, and as the band progressed, my singing voice came back to it's like I'm a higher singer, so
Yeah.
Found Glory. Um, you'll be able to hear we actually redid one of our songs called Love, and we sing it in a different key. And honestly, it sounds a whole lot better. But that you hear the difference in the song too, because Love I sing it in a very low monotone. It's you can hear the Alkaline Trio in that song alone a whole lot. Actually, the first two songs you can hear, and then you really hear the band come into its own. The next stuff after that.
Nice, for sure, yeah. And you know what? Don't be ashamed of your Newfound Glory-esque voice, because you know what? They're super popular, so you gotta own that shit.
We'll cover Newfound Glory eventually.
Yeah,
People keep asking for it.
well, you gotta give the people what they want, especially, in this time, and it's the perfect time to blow up. People are looking for new things. I mean, we were talking about earlier how, we're listening to a lot of new music now because we're stuck inside all the time. And I mean, I listen to music a lot in general, but definitely more so now that I'm kind of stuck inside and don't have like other distractions, I guess. And in that same vein, what other bands are you guys listening to right now?
Some of the new releases, like Belmont just put out a new EP. I'm like super digging it. Like lots of catchy riffs. Like they're one of those like pop punk bands with breakdowns in it. So it I don't know. It brings a really like kind of a new vibe to the music scene that everybody can get down to. Um, I don't know what else is there, Gordon, Evan.
Band
Right
love song, new
now,
record. It's been really killer. The Newfound Glory, their new record's actually sweet. I don't know if it's come out yet, but I have found a way. I'm trying to sound not like I took the music off the internet, but I have found the record. But my computer is so shot that I can't put anything on my phone. So I've been burning stuff to CDs. That record's killer.
Wow, real old school there.
There's a small love-hate relationship for Bayside right now, just because of some stuff. But I love their new record. That one's killer.
Nice.
Sorry.
Oh no.
Oh no, do you have the
He's got the
corona?
Rona.
we didn't see that.
He's got the Rona.
Oh shit.
Oh, and there's too much coffee. I smoke Halloween too. Legal and I'm over 21, so. But
There you go.
the new Alkaline Trio EP, they put out a 3-song EP that came out last week. It's really killer. for people that are fans of Alkaline Trio, Dan's acoustic song is actually a song that he would sing live by himself from 2007. It was the first time I think that was played live. I didn't know that until about yesterday. So,
Cool.
Is that your dog, Mish?
Yeah, that's my dog. If you guys can hear a dog barking, that's my little demon.
Right on.
Cool. All right, so you guys are still kind of starting out and everything, but what is your dream venue or festival would you want to perform at? I mean, I know Warped Tour's gone, so like that's but there's lots of other things out there. Four Chord, Sad Summerfest, so or
I know, I
venue,
don't- I'd really like to play the Showbox sometime. I mean, that's always a dream venue to play. Any local band in Seattle like would just kill to play the Showbox. Um, let's see. Yeah, like you said, Warped Tour's gone. I mean, that kind of had to happen anyway, so I'm not really too worried about that. Um, I don't know, just like if there are any like other just like huge pop punk fest like anywhere in the country. I mean, like we would drive like miles, like I feel like it would totally be worth the drive. Like if it was like in Maine or like way across the country or maybe even like in a different continent or something like that. You know, I think like we'd totally be down to like play any like big stage we wanted to.
So do you guys have plans for tours in the future coming
Well,
up?
we are set to put out a new EP out. Obviously, the situation of things kind of decided to put a little like stabber in our back. We were supposed to be in the studio yesterday, but
We
to
were
keep
supposed to play
everything.
El Corazon yesterday too.
Oh shit,
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
Um, well, supposedly, as long as things go well, we're playing that show on the 21st of August.
Well, hopefully people stay inside and we can actually go outside this summer and you guys will be able to play your shows. But yeah, no, definitely keep us in the loop because if you guys end up, East Coast, that's where we're all at in 3 different states, we'll come check you out for sure.
We're trying to. We want to get out that way. I know there's a band out of New York that I'd love to play with called Strange Neighbors. They're supposed to come out here actually and play. They're doing it's like for Women's Month or I can't. That totally sounded not PC at all, but it's a really
Totally
cool
fine.
for a female fronted band in Seattle, and that was supposed to be going on next weekend actually, and they were flying
Oh yeah.
out. Super stoked because we were gonna play a show out of town and then be back to catch them play the next day, but obviously we're still sitting here like pulling our hair out wishing we could go to shows and hug our buddies and our friends.
Yeah, social distancing is tough for sure.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
I think our cat is the one that is getting sick of us, and it's
So what like I said, you said you're starting out and everything, so I'm sure you're getting a lot of advice and stuff. What's the best advice you've been given so far about pursuing these dreams you've got with college radio?
Don't suck.
That's good stuff. I used to play bass in a ska band, and I would get very self-conscious because ska bass is really like all over the place. And I got really self-conscious, and I was like, I do not feel that I am technically qualified to be in this band. And the singer was my friend Jesse, and he said to me, he's like, "Do you like Nirvana?" And I was like, "Yes, I like Nirvana. That's a stupid question, buddy." And he's like, "Man, that guy is not playing anything any more difficult than what you're doing, and he got to play stadiums. Can you play Nirvana songs?" And I was like, "Yeah, I can play Come As You Are." And he's like, "Well, that's all you need. You don't have to be an expert. You don't have to be Davey 504 or something. You just have to kind of think that you can do it, and you can do it."
Anything's possible. I mean, shoot, we're a pop punk band, and we're actually doing it.
Hell yeah, you are.
It's more or less just have fun. That's the biggest thing. Don't take it too far out of context. Write songs with your friends and do it like a garage band. That's why I love this band so much. And it's I've played music my whole life. I play in another band, and why I love like I played in other bands. You know why I love this is the raw garage vibe. Because I've played in bands where they're very professional and everyone gets along. Don't get me wrong, but it's done separately, where it's like here's all the music, here's this, and then you all come together to prep for a tour, and then you go. When with this is just the actual writing process, the fun hanging out with everybody, where it's just like sometimes it's not flowing, where you're just like, why can't I write this riff? And then it comes together, and everybody's parts come together, and you realize why you're doing it. And I think the biggest advice I can give anybody is don't lose that and hold on to that as long as you can, because people just want to tour. People want to. I feel like, and I don't mean to tangent on this, but I feel like being a
Tangent
musician,
away.
it changed a bit from what we used to do. Hence, from those old days, the early 2000s, where we listened to music, we went and saw music, we loved music. It didn't matter who was playing that night. You had one favorite band, but you the other ones. It's going to that. Like this whole thing is like you get to enjoy it and have fun, and I think that's what music is really missing lately. Is these kids that I need to be popular, I need to be on tour. Like if I wanted to tour with this band, we would have done that right away. But it's like instead we stayed home in our theme, and we helped to grow it again. To help, go to local shows again, play as many local shows as we can without overdoing it, but playing with different bands, not being elitist to this or that. Where we love all styles. We've played with hip hop artists, we've played with country artists, because we just love playing. We love music, and I think that if everybody were to create and have fun and do it that way over thinking I need to be, obviously, you do have to sound good, you do have to somewhat look decent, but before all that, have fun with it. And I think that's what all the bands are lacking. That some aren't, but like I think that's one big thing is just have fun with it first and don't over stress on it and just play. And the tours and the other stuff will come eventually, but having fun, like that's the biggest thing. Tangent done.
I'm gonna build off of that because I think staying home and like sticking to those smaller venues are going to be so crucial in the next coming months and years, especially because all of these businesses are going to be start hurting and whatnot, and it's going to take local bands like you guys to help bring back that culture and bring back everyone to the bars and to wherever and all the different venues to rebuild our economy too. Like it starts with everyone.
100%. And I definitely, it's a great message for sure. Definitely building your hometown fan base and, your hometown connections is definitely key in your growth for sure.
It's like telling a kid that comes up to you and it's like, oh my God, I want to get a tattoo. The first thing, like I said, I've toured, I've done that. And that's a question I get a lot is, oh man, I love your tattoos. I want to get a tattoo. And I always ask, how old are you? Oh, I'm this age. I got a buddy that does this. Just wait until you're 18 when you can get it legally and you can get it done. And you have to spend the money. And if this is in the music, if you want to sound good, you want to do something good, you do have to spend the money on the person who is up there. It's worth it, I want to pay the person that deserves that money because they have perfected their craft in both those worlds, like a tattoo artist, an engineer. You can't half-ass something. You have to kind of, go at it professionally. If that makes sense too.
Definitely. Awesome. So, obviously we're kind of at a standstill right now, but what does the future hold for college radio?
Selling out every venue in America.
Yes! Big dreams. I love it.
I don't know. What do you guys think? What do you think?
Or if not venue, maybe sell at every bar we play. That's always a good start too.
Hell yeah.
Well, can we talk about the thing coming out?
Yeah.
The thing coming out? What does that mean?
Yeah, Gordon.
The movie with the monster? No. Evan, why don't you talk about it, brother?
Okie dokie. We are very proud to announce we are going to be releasing an EP in the next few months. We have like one song left to record it. and I'm pretty excited for that. I get to sing that one, and so
Ooh.
some yeah at some point in 2020, you should be getting ready for an EP from College Radio. It's gonna be like 4 or 5 songs ish. It's gonna be pretty good.
Cool. We're excited. We're definitely going to be your first listeners.
For sure.
Look out, Seattle. East Coast is coming for you.
Hell yeah, but no battling. It's all fun. We come for hugs. We don't come for or high fives.
Exactly.
Zero
East Coast, West
high
Coast love.
fives or zero virtual hugs and virtual high fives until we're allowed to physically,
The elbow bumps, if you will.
as we're calling it, a solid Joey Ramone distance between each other. 'Cause Joey Ramone is about 6 feet tall, right? Yes.
Something like that? Sure.
Yeah.
I have no idea what tall he is.
Sure. Yeah.
We'll go with it.
Let me check my life-size Joey Ramone cutout in the other room. I'll be right back.
I mean, well, both of you guys are about that. No, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. So, in the meantime, where can our listeners find you to listen to and on social?
Oh, you're gonna want to go to LinkedIn. You got MySpace, Zanga exists maybe, and
Tumblr?
LiveJournal. Yeah, Tumblr. We actually have the world's only remaining LiveJournal server, and it's just us and a bunch of black and white artsy porn,
True.
and it's really bad.
We're pretty much on every streaming platform. You can, from my knowledge, from how the internet works, you can find us. Like Bandcamp is another one. We're trying to put up some stuff. At least for now, because how Bandcamp's doing it, I'm trying to throw up what merch we have, what merch is on its way, as well as some demos from the earlier days, just so people can hear some of these songs when they were first like. It might sound weird, but it'll be like from a phone where you can hear like, oh shoot, those lyrics are different, or whoa, that melody is different, but now it came into this, just something different. But again, all our socials, it's College Radio PNW on everything. So if you just type that in on Twitter, or if you type it on Instagram, you should be able to find us.
Yeah, definitely listen on Spotify.
Yeah, Spotify seems to be the best, easiest way to find us, and I think it's easier to find us now. iTunes. Type the song name in with our name and it will pop up quicker. Like I said, it's the algorithms. Our iTunes isn't as popular as the Spotify because people get frustrated with iTunes, I think. I love them all, so no hate.
Well, if you're listening to us on Spotify, you can just hop right on over to College Radio's Spotify.
Yeah, we're on TikTok. If anyone knows how to do a TikTok, do that, and then
I'm
tag
too old
us
to figure
and
that
let us
out.
know. Yeah, but I know people do it. It gets into my memes and stuff that I watch on YouTube, so I know it still exists, and I know we're on there. But beyond that, it's a mystery.
It's such a mystery. All right, guys. Well, thank you for coming on. We're so happy to have you, and we look forward to seeing what you guys have in store. Again, follow them on social at College Radio PNW, right? PNW, Pacific Northwest, yes. Again, thanks for coming on. That's all we've got for you guys today on the Mosh Pit. So stay safe, stay social distanced, and hashtag Mosh on.
From 6 feet away.